So if you haven't noticed, there are really two ways that people actually dominate on social media. When you see like these really big figureheads, right? And I don't even need to name names. You know who these figureheads are because you follow them and you see how much they're blowing up on social media. There are certain archetypes, two specific archetypes that work that will help you no matter where you're at in the journey of your life to actually dominate on social media. And the reason why people end up staying in that bottom level of people who tend to really consume more than they actually produce, or they watch these people who are producing at a high level and they wish that they could be these people, but they think that they're not there yet. They don't want to start. The reason why you're probably in that bottom trough of people is because you don't understand that there are actually two different archetypes that, depending on where you're at in life, you can embody them and start creating content around that. So, and I really want to talk about this subject because not only have I analyzed this a lot, but I've actually utilized this in my path and why I've been able to grow in short bursts of like big either following, subscribers, whatever that looks like. You guys have seen it on YouTube. Like I literally came onto the scene 3 months ago, but I've actually mastered the step and I've now chosen YouTube to stick to. For me, I like to bounce around different platforms and just see which one I like the best. Didn't really like Instagram. I liked Instagram at first, grew to like 25,000 subscribers or followers pretty quickly. Um, TikTok took me about 2 months to hit 8,000 followers, but it didn't really be much. Didn't really like the platform as well. YouTube is what I really like. So I'm nearing pretty much, by the time you probably watch this video, I'll get close to 20,000 subscribers in under 3 months, or in about 3 months, I would say. 3 months it took me. Already monetized all of that. But I say all of this to say that I've really analyzed how other people have grown and can kind of replicate them at a fundamental level. Not the tactics, because there are tactics that people use like cross promotions, teaming up with other creators that are in your space to like share audiences. There are ways to do it, but when you're just starting out, this is really going to help you. And the two main archetypes are the voyager and the ascender, right? Or the person who's already ascended. I like to call these people like the ascended masters, the people who've already done what they're telling their audience that they have done, right? Or they're telling their audience to do. So you have to really understand that both of these are education. Like, especially as a man, if you're watching this, you're going to succeed in social media if you're a really good educator. If you're a top tier educator, you will be able to win. And the way that you can do this is two different styles. The voyager, as you probably, if you know what the word voyager means, it's somebody who's basically on a journey. They are either in the beginning of their journey or they're in the process of their journey, and they can help other people who are earlier on in their journey. So if you're a very pure beginner, you literally have done nothing in life, you may be 18, or maybe you're older but you don't feel like you have it. If you're a lot older, you have something in life that other people want. You just don't know what it is yet, or you just don't think it's valuable. But let's say that you're literally starting at ground zero. You don't have any skill sets that people would actually want to learn. You don't have any life experiences that people find interesting. You can genuinely start observing and start to actually do research and start to get into different topics that are interesting to you. Learn it, because learning is very quick, especially because we ironically have YouTube right now, what you're watching, right? You're able to go there and see and learn very quickly because people synthesize information and then post it on YouTube. That's the whole game. The whole game of social media, especially now, is to synthesize information you either already know or are learning, and then teach other people who are behind you the exact information from your perspective, right? People call it the synthesizer. But as a voyager, you're figuring out your path and you're actually just documenting what you're figuring out. So let's say you're starting an SMMA business, right? A social media marketing business locally. I have a potential client that's going to start to do that now. And they're like, hey, how do I post on social media? I feel like I need to make it first. No, people like to see the journey. People like to see the voyage that you're taking as you're taking it, because it shows the realistic side of it. You already being a multimillionaire who's already built an SMMA is not technically going to be interesting to a majority of people. Maybe it will be aspirationally, and that's what we're going to talk about with the ascended master, the person who's already done the thing and they can kind of teach what they've done and attract people based on their accomplishments. You're attracting people based on relatability. So when you're just starting out in anything, especially on social media, and you don't necessarily have the status, you don't have the nice cars, you don't have the crazy lifestyle that people can aspire to, you have the relatability that people will gravitate towards. So you have to be relatable. And by being relatable, you need to be authentic and share what you're learning as you're learning it. Because that's what people are going to value the most. People are going to value, like, hey, if he can do it, I can do it. Right? You look at Hamza. Hamza was literally throughout his process just sharing what he was learning step by step by step. And he was able to build a massive cult-like audience because those people genuinely saw what he was doing and they were implementing everything that he was doing step by step. So he would learn something about, procrastination. He would learn how to like stop procrastinating. Then he would take what he learned, implemented it, and then share it with other people, right? So he was on his voyage. He was on his journey throughout the whole process. He didn't start off being the person that he is now, flying to different places, going to conferences, having a great lifestyle, making over $200,000 a month. That wasn't him. He actually started at zero, but he was able to grow and build an audience. And that's the thing with YouTube, which is why I like this platform the most. You can build parasocial relationships with people. So people can genuinely like see you and you be so authentic that they feel like you're basically their best friend or you're somebody who they can relate to. And they will continuously follow you and feel connected to you, even though they've never met you in person or they've never spoken to you before. So you build a lot of trust, especially in the process. Fitness, for example. For me, I'm more of an ascended master when it comes to fitness because I'm not going on another fitness journey. I've already done my journey already. And yeah, can I improve my physique if I want to? Yes, but I'm satisfied with where I'm at. Um, so for me, it's more of an ascended masters thing, right? Like I'm not really taking you on a journey to from fat to fit or from skinny to like jack. Like I'm not taking you through that journey in real time. I'm almost just moving in retrospect and telling you what I did, and hopefully that can help you. But if I were somebody who was fat, I would attract a lot of people who are actually trying to lose weight because they're seeing me go on the journey. I'm taking the steps and I'm teaching them all the nuances of what that is. That's why you as a voyager, you're actually more valuable than the ascended master because you now know the nuances of the current landscape of the game. Because see, back then, if let's say you were trying to lose weight, there were no macro calculators. There was no like YouTube to show you a bunch of different things, right? So you have to pretty much evolve throughout that process. Now we can leverage AI, right? You can leverage AI to make a meal plan. You can leverage AI to build a training program if you want to, right? They may not be as accurate as having somebody to actually do it for you, specifically for your case because you don't know how to prompt correctly, but you can utilize these tools now. So somebody who's on their journey right now can learn these different nuances of the modern age and then share that with their audience. And it's now a nuanced approach that other people can now be attracted to, and they'll follow the person because of that, because it's new. So being a voyager, you actually have the ultimate advantage. You have nothing to lose, and you also have everything to gain. It's limited downside, unlimited upside. So, and that's what I like to call an asymmetrical bet, right? So it means that you literally, the worst that could happen is nobody watch your videos, which is fine because you still have it documented. And when you make it, people will see that you made it and then they'll rewatch all of your videos from day one. Gary Vee said this. He said, I wish I would have, and maybe he did, but he said even earlier than that, but he started documenting his process since the wine cellars that he had, right? The wine cellar, the wine business. He was documenting the whole process, but he wanted to document it even beyond that, right? Even earlier than that. And that's where a lot of people who are successful, they regret the fact that they didn't document their process. And you have the opportunity now, because I'm raising your awareness, to start documenting your process and start building your personal brand now, even when you haven't made it yet. Because there are people who are behind you, believe it or not. There are hundreds of millions of people, or there are tens of millions of people who watch videos on YouTube all the time. They're going to be able to see your progress, and there will be people who relate to where you're currently at and aspire to be where you're currently at, even if you're not where you want to be. So being a voyager is extremely beneficial because one, it gives you accountability to consistently be learning and consistently be improving, because that's what you're essentially selling to your audience. Because let's be honest, social media is selling. You're selling something. You're selling an identity. You're selling a transformation. You're selling a lifestyle. You're selling something. You're selling specialized education that you've mastered. You're selling something to the audience. That's what makes them continuously want to watch you. So you want to make sure that when you're building that audience, that you are actually taking them on a journey of improvement, of transformation to the ideal transformation that you want. and they will want to be a part of that regardless, right? Some people will want to buy from you, whether it be coaching, whether it be a product that you have, like if you're selling supplements or if you're selling maybe self-improvement journals or something, like you're selling something along that process, they will buy from you because you're showing that you're making that transformation. And then when you make the full transformation, it'll just be like clockwork, right? But beyond monetization, let's just talk about the content side. As you're a voyager, as you're building this journey up, you're going to get so many people who are so invested in your success that it's going to be inevitable that you become successful, and you'll bring a whole army of people with you that will literally support you through that process. That's why being a voyager, if you're at zero, you're good. Now, let's say you've had experience and you're trying to figure out like what exactly you want to start posting about. You don't feel like any, the first limiting belief is that you don't have something that other people want to learn. And that's incorrect. There is something that you've learned that someone else is trying to learn at this very moment. You have to think there are tens of millions of people who are constantly watching YouTube videos. So of course there are going to be people who want to learn a specific thing. It could be pottery. Maybe you did pottery and that's something that somebody else wants to learn. The internet has allowed for there to be hyper niche things that you know that you can be your own micro expert in, that you can teach somebody else, and you'll attract thousands, if not millions of people on that micro niche of a thing. Think about Lego building, a micro niche, but there are so many people who are interested in building Legos that it's actually a very lucrative content pillar to be a part of. It's a lucrative content side because there are people who genuinely pay a lot of money to learn how to build different Lego combinations. Like you can literally monetize, yes, but build a massive audience and build a massive personal brand around any niche. So you have to figure out what that is for you. Once you get that down, then you start documenting everything that you've learned. Now you become an ascended master in that domain that you're in that field that you've built experience and that you didn't even know that there could be a value in your expertise in, right? Now you can start creating content around how you went from point A to point Z. So you become an ascended master in your own domain. Now, that's the voyager. The ascended master, the other side, they're people who've mastered everything, but they didn't really document their journey as much, right? They're kind of just showing you the end result, and they're more of aspirational people. They're people that you don't necessarily follow their journey, but you follow them as essentially a beacon of success for you in whatever domain you want. So for example, Andrew Tate. I like to use him because everyone knows him. Yes, he had a journey, but he didn't like actually document everything. There were just snippets taken, right? He didn't really show you what he was doing at each process per se. So you're really just aspiring for the lifestyle. You're aspiring for the Bugatti. You're aspiring for the huge mansion. You're aspiring for the charisma. You're aspiring for the massive audience that he has, right? You're being motivated by that. So you watch him for the motivation, for the aspirational aspects of what he has, because he is your future state that you're looking at. And so then anything that he sells to you, you will buy it because you're a part of his personal brand is so big that he can literally sell anything in any domain because he's already mastered it. He's already shown, he's already demonstrated success in multiple realms of human endeavor, right? So when you become the more aspirational type, you become the ascended master, you now can really take any path that you want. And you can actually take multiple paths at once because you've done a lot of the things that people want to do, and you can show them how you've done it. And even if you're not good at that, people still want to buy from you because the effect is when they buy from you, they will basically mentally trick themselves into thinking that they will be able to make it, which self-belief is huge. Once you have self-belief, you will be able to achieve what you want to achieve. No matter what the process is, you will achieve it because you believe it. And I know a lot of you, if you're at a lower frequency, you won't understand self-belief, but self-belief is one of the most powerful things that you can ever have. But I digress. That's the ascended master. The ascended master is somebody who's already made it, who's basically peacocking what they have. They're showing off all of their different things. And some may come off as arrogant, like Andrew Tate probably for a lot of people comes off as arrogant. There are people who do it in a way that's more subtle, right? They don't do it as loud in your face, and you kind of want to be like that. You kind of want to have that level of mystique. You want to have that status that they have. you're going to learn from them, and they can literally teach you anything. They can literally go into any domain. And that's the benefit of being an ascended master, because you can now get into so many different domains because you've had so many different experiences and teach people how to do it. All right. So the voyager is the person who's figuring out their lane. They're figuring out what they want to be an expert in, or whatever avenues they want to be an expert in. And they're sharing it with people who are slightly behind them. This is very valuable because it makes you relatable. And then you have the ascended master that's already had his path. He's already been through one path, right? Or maybe multiple paths. And he's basically sharing his experiences from the start to the end. And people are relating, not really relating to him, but they're looking up to him, right? Because he's somebody who's aspirational. But at the end of the day, both of these revolve around education. You need to be teaching people something with your personal brand. That's what people don't understand. If you're not educating in some way, shape, or form, you're missing out on actually providing value to the audience. So you can't really build a personal brand without providing value. That's why some people, they go out, try to build a personal brand, and they start vlogging. It's like nobody cares about you at that moment. So building a personal brand, you need to start providing value first. And then once you get big enough, once you get 1 million subscribers or 1 million followers, 2 million, 3 million, that's when you can start being just yourself without having some level of direct value that you're providing to someone, because you yourself have already built yourself up to be valuable by being the big personal brand that you are. So as you're in that journey, whether you're a voyager, even if you're an ascended master, always educate somebody on something that you're interested in that they will potentially be interested in. And it can be anything. It can literally be how to read books better. It can be how to pick the right books. It can be around tech gadgets and stuff. It can be around cars. Like if you really like cars, like what kind of cars, like just teach people how to, change cars, or teach people how to fix cars, teach people what cars they should buy, and literally anything. Literally anything. If it's fitness, teaching people how to eat properly with a specific type of diet. You can teach people how to train in a specific way that you like to train, right? And coin an entire big idea. See, ascended masters create big ideas. Voyagers, they follow big ideas to figure out what their path is, and then they iterate once they get there, and then they make their own big idea once they become an ascended master. But an ascended master creates a market for themselves by creating a whole new big idea. And they're the ones that actually are the most profitable personal brands, because they basically create new markets. Andrew Tate created a new market in different avenues, actually. If he wanted to, he could create an entire market for cigars, literally, because that's part of his personal brand. So the goal is to become an ascended master. But if you're at zero, if you haven't really built any skills yet, and you're on your journey to doing that, you can still build an audience, because people do want to relate to you, and they want to feel like they're on the journey with you because they see potential in you and they see that you can be successful. But you have to be authentic, and you have to show who you really are. This was another lesson on personal branding and the 2 different archetypes that succeed the most, that dominate the internet the most. And you can be one of those too. Just depends on what direction you want to take. If you want to know more about this type of content, put it in the comments below. If you really enjoyed this type of content and you find it valuable, I am going to still be posting fitness stuff. I'm going to still be posting self-improvement stuff, but I really am passionate about personal branding, and I've done it. It's given me so many opportunities in life. It's given me different career advancements. It's given me access to investors to start companies. It's given me access to other people to start companies with. It's given me access to people around the world to build my own network. It's really transformed me as a person. Like, having an online personal brand is one of the greatest forms of leverage you can have, especially if you start off with nothing, right? Obviously, if you come from old money, if you have a family that's already wealthy and they have connections, you may not need that. And even then, there are those kids who are still trying to basically get an online personal brand, even if they're rich, because they understand the value of it. There's a lot of status, there's a lot of power that's included. And no, it's not about being shallow. It's about just leveraging something that can literally change your life, like in a short period of time. So if that's something you're interested in, if you're looking to build your personal brand, I can definitely help you with that. If you're looking for like one-on-one coaching around that, I offer something like that too. I've had a couple people reach out to me about it, which is why I want to just start offering it out to you. So if that's something you're interested in, click the link in the description. It is my one-on-one coaching qualification application. Even if it's fitness as well, I can help you with that too. But if it's really personal branding, that's something that I can genuinely lay out a blueprint for you and guide you through the process and make sure that you're moving in the right direction, figuring out what your personal brand is, and attach a business behind it so you can monetize it as early as you possibly can. So that's something you're interested in, tap in below. like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend who is looking to start their personal brand on social media, start creating content, start actually building their own empire, their personal empire. That is something that, I do. So I appreciate you, and I will catch you on the next video. Have a good rest of your day.